Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? So if you guys remember, last episode we made a pressure chamber and I said that we're going to start making PCBs today so that we would be able to make machines. We do have one stack of empty PCBs, capacitors are being made, yes, and we do have the transistors for one stack. Oh, and by the way, we're getting ichor balls, which are our dictionary for slime balls, from sieving. We don't have a crazy amount, maybe 2 stacks left? A bit. Although one of the things that we could have done is that we could have put everything inside the separator, because we have this machine in the ship, but obviously that was easier. But now that we have our empty PCBs, we need to etch them first. So what is the recipe for an etching acid bucket? That's very cheap. Let us try to make 2 buckets. We do need to have more speed upgrades inside the interfaces, it makes everything go faster, and you don't lose that much air pressure. But yeah, we have our 2 buckets. Now that we have our etching acid, let us take a nap. And we're missing obsidian. It's okay, I'll get some. Don't you worry. I have already made an etching tank and now what we need is a UV light box. It does require a PCB blueprint which we can craft, I think. Yeah, if you guys remember, we have already found some failed PCBs inside the cities, so we don't really need the Amadron tablet. I don't think in this modpack you can even craft it. Yeah, it's disabled. For some reason. So I think the UV light box requires air pressure, that's fine. We don't look at it. Will it do all 64? Not sure. Well, in any case, here is our etching tank, 1 bucket of etching acid, and we wait for the empty PCBs to get ready. So if you don't have Amadron tablet, how do you make the laser program? Okay, makes sense. It's raining, right? Probably. Oh, wait a minute, that's just the one. I'm keeping the rest in my inventory, I thought all of them went in. It's okay, let's get a few hoppers. You know, I kind of knew that and I forgot and I was wondering why the hell would you need an assembly line then, because this is fast enough. Apparently no, it's not fast at all. Yeah, we got 1. Let's do the rest. So if I'm not wrong, that should be a quest somewhere. Yes. Let's also hopper in everything into the etching tank. I think that should work. Yeah, I need the acid. Yes, that also takes ages. I'll be right back when it's ready. I'm scared to stay outside. You know, there could be a thunderstorm and there could be tons of mobs. Actually, I thought maybe I should use my time productively and try to finish the perimeter. I did install the construction wand in this modpack because we didn't have any builder's wand. Yeah, there are the gadgets from Direwolf. But first, I don't really know how the building gadget works. And secondly, it does require PCBs. And well, I did need a base before I get to PCBs. So yeah, we cheated. A bit. I also did steal a ton of barbed wire from the refinery. Can we somehow use them? Placing them is gonna be a pain. Yeah. Let me try to get some scaffolding. Can we like put it in our offhand and use the construction wand? Yeah, that can work. It's also way easier. Okay, so I did manage to extend the perimeter by a bit and I think we do have a few PCBs. Let's check. 5. 5 is a good number. Because honestly speaking, one of the things that I really want to start crafting is going to be the pneumatic craft armor. It does require leather. How did we get leather? I have a ton of leather. How did we get leather? Oh, rotten flesh. Anyways, if nothing has gone wrong, that should be the compressed iron version. And for the pneumatic one, we need a ton of air canisters. Oh, and those were empty PCBs. We have to make them finished. So there you go. Chapter unlocked. Cool. Pneumatic leggings, the helmet, and not the chest plates. We're missing tubes. So there you go. Now we can be fancy. I have weird eyes. So as you guys probably know, this armor on its own is kind of garbage. It does require air pressure, but we can also install upgrades. Let me check what kind of upgrades we need. Night vision is nice. I have a brew stand. Yeah, we try that. Let me get a few upgrades. Okay, so we do have a few decisions to make, and I just realized I look very fancy without armor. But I have also made a charging station, I'm charging the pneumatic boots, and I did install a volume upgrade so that it can handle more air pressure. But I just remembered there are jet boots. That means we don't need an elytra to fly, we can have a jetpack. Well, there's a bit of a problem with that one. That requires advanced pressure tubes, and those are made inside the assembly line. And since I did manage to get a few more PCBs, also from the quests, let's try to make it. Also, these things ain't cheap. I'm just saying, not cheap at all. And unfortunately, we are also out of PCBs in order to make the program, so let's see if more are ready. Yeah, a bit more. So, program laser, program cut, and we combine them. And maybe the wrench. I don't really think it matters how we assemble everything. The only part which requires air pressure is the controller. But we do need to have the laser, we do need to have the drill, import, export. The program goes in, and we hook it up to compressors. Yeah, that's it, right? Oh, and chests, obviously, for importing and exporting. So for advanced tubes, what we need is actually quite cheap. Maybe not. Yeah, you need like 20 blocks in order to get 8 tubes. And it does work. I'm not actually in a hurry. It can run slowly. Aha, so it has been a while later, and you might notice there has been a few developments. First off, obviously, I do have the armor. Secondly, it does really matter where you put the laser drill. Apparently I disabled Jade. Does it work now? Yeah, so the laser and the drill have to be next to the platform, not over there. But with that, I did manage to make the jetpack upgrade, and this is amazing. I love this kind of flight. Another thing is that the charging station actually can accept 20 bars, your armor can handle 10 bars, and therefore those compressors were a bit garbage, so I made a better one. Unfortunately, these ones accumulate a lot of heat and they become less efficient, so I had to install a few heat sinks. But it's very straightforward. You put the armor slot inside, you can see the upgrades, there's information on the upgrades, and well, I do have armor upgrades, speed upgrades, and volume upgrades. A bit. It also does seem that you can enchant the armor, so maybe we should get a few enchantments. Protection is not bad. There is a mending upgrade called item life upgrade in Pneumatic craft, but that's very slow. We want something better. Oh, Indirium. I have Indirium. It's been a while. How did I make Indirium like that? Well, actually, at this very moment, we don't have to make it like that. We can have a few machines. There is a compression dynamo, which does require a teeny tiny bit of bronze. And then there's the induction smelter. Thankfully, we do have some invar. So there you go. None of these things are quests. That has me worried. At this very moment, it's going to be a very garbage setup, but the compression dynamo works with fuel, and we do have LPG, which is hyper efficient. Can be a bit more efficient with some upgrades. And let us see how we make Indirium. That's not great. Do we have pearls? Oh yeah, a bit. So it's lead, diamonds, and pearls. And it will take ages. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while later and I have decent enchantments on my armor. Mending and protection, not necessarily in that order. Because I have a garbage memory, obviously. But my biggest problem was experience, so I'm smelting down ores. But I also want to have a decent gun and I need way more experience, so I'm crushing down more ores. That could take some time. In the meantime, here's what we're going to do. Let's try to make some hardened glass first. Well, let's try to make as much as we can. We can also make more obsidian. I just noticed it. So we are getting magma cream from sieving. We can convert it into magma blocks. Let's try to get 2 stacks. And then we can just cool it down. I didn't know this mechanic exists. Or maybe I did. And I just have a garbage memory. Lovely. We have 2 stacks of obsidian. Anyways, the reason that we wanted some hardened glass was this. The magma crucible. I have been waiting for this for a very long time, but there you go. That's a magma crucible. At this very moment, we only have 1 garbage generator, so let's have some flux ducts. Magma crucible, the induction smelter, and we try to smelt down some redstone dust. Oh, you don't have fuel. I brought fuel. We're just going to need 1 bucket of destabilized redstone as well as 1 bucket of lava. And if I'm not wrong, yeah, oops. Sorry. I was going to say we have the igneous extruders, and that, ladies and gentlemen, with the destabilized redstone, gives us netherrack. I'm still burning. We can also try and get some endstone, and for that we need ender pearls, or resonant ender, which is also made with lava. Fine. So there you go. That should be endstone. I also brought some hopper upgrades we pull from the bottom. Perfect. Now that's an infinite source as well. We also upgrade the igneous extruders so that they work a bit faster. And I think we should have a decent supply of experience, we will see. Let's try to get the gun first. So what we want is the minigun. That means we are going to need 2 circuits from mechanism. And yeah, those are finished PCBs, so it's a bit expensive. And that's a quest. So assemble the minigun. Thank you. I think this one only accepts basic bullets, right? That's true. And it takes a lot of ammo. With overcapacity, which we don't have the experience for. Yes, as I was saying, with overcapacity, it should take way more. I hope it's a good gun. So the reason that I wanted some decent weapons and armor is that today we're going to go to the foundry. There's supposed to be ancient debris and netherite over there. This is slow. I think it's way easier to walk. Thanks to the pneumatic craft armor, we're actually walking way faster. I think we should be close. Yeah. That way. Oh, and by the way, don't you worry. I have a decent supply of food with me. And yeah, even though we have night vision, I also brought some lanterns. Maybe it's going to help us with the mobs? Not sure. This place is fancy. So in the surrounding buildings, I don't think you can find anything of interest, right? Yeah, I don't even see a chest. Weird. But I do see a tank from Create, which we don't need. Hello. That was nice. Somebody has a bow. Who? Pigmen! I just wanted to mention the lanterns did not help. They don't help with pigmen. Baby pigmen! I hate them. I just wanted to mention I have used a crazy amount of bullets and we're not even in yet. We should cheat. We can fly, right? We go in from the top. Yeah, this is much better. I forgot we burn. But they have stairs. Let's break it. And this is why I also brought grenades. This is not fair. I'm running out of ammo. Okay, so up here there should be loot. It's not amazing loot. Totally not amazing. Oh, actually, scorched bricks. That's for the foundry itself. You can craft it, but with this you should be able to make some seared bricks. According to the quest book at least. Wait, they're coming from downstairs. What is that? Don't care. Yeah, all of them are coming from downstairs. This place seems to be safe-ish. Scorched bricks, that's nice. The foundry! We take it. If they let me. So, I have taken all the foundry parts. Is the quest complete? No, we need a scorched duct. That's fine by me. I can wait. There are traps. That's interesting. We can fly. It's fine. This one has obstacles, so we're just gonna cheat. That's not a trap chest, right? No. Ancient debris. There is another level. Oh boy. Whoa. Yeah, I think we should regroup somewhere. It's a good thing I brought some grenades. It can be handy. Yeah, the problem is that I'm out of ammo and, well, there's not much I can do. Unless cheat? Maybe not. Yeah, cheating is fine. Just break the spawners and deal with the rest. They're not blazes. Yeah, we're out of ammo. We have to go home. I'll go try and make way more bullets. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back at the base and we have almost 3,000 bullets. That's a decent number, right? Probably. Thankfully, now that we have access to netherrack, one of the things that we get from sieving is gunpowder, which I just realized I used it all. Literally. So we are ready to go back to the foundry, but I have just realized there is a rover. This is from Ad Astra and it's literally the final quest. And guess what? We can make it without going to other planets. So you can make it out of Dash or you can make it out of bronze. Which for obvious reasons, we're just going to make it out of bronze. Actually, this was relatively easy. The only problem that I have is that I'm looking for a metal press. Oh my goodness. Actually, those are gunpowder. Walking versions. I need them. We got 25. Perfect. So that is a metal press, but I don't think it does what I want it to do. That's for industrial iron. Shut up. Do I have an extra one? It's not called metal press, it's just called a press and we don't have it anyways. But we can craft it. So here's an extra metal press. We need one bronze sheet. Does it have to be higher? Oh, it has to be casted. That is perfectly fine. We shall have a cast. There you go. And then the only thing that we're missing is the radio, which requires a wire. Since any wire will do, we make it out of gold. This has crazy stress capacity, but it should work. Can you make me a wire? Yes, and we can take it out, perfect. Therefore we shall have the radio, and voila, the rover. It does say tier 1, but there's no tier 2. Awesome. Although the main question is that what kind of fuel does it need? It does give us some fuel, right? It's gasoline. That's not how you fill it in. That's how you fill it in. You right click. Aha. So is it any faster? That's not bad. Actually, that's great. So it's not as fast as having an elytra maybe, but at least you're not consuming any hunger. And we should be fairly close. I passed it. Again. So the question is, can we pick it up? Yes. The other question is, where are my bullets? We go in. The problem is the crazy amount of mobs. Let's just go down. Something just happened to me. I'm weird. It's okay. We go down. One more time. Oh, there are spawners. Oops. I mean, I knew there were spawners, I just didn't know they're in the center. Well, we try to break as much as we can somehow. Babies are the worst. You know, at this very moment, there's not much that we want from the foundry. I just want to see if we can find anything of interest. That's the point. I got pig iron. Kind of useless. There's also wither skeletons here. There's another basement. Hello. Didn't see you. This is a dead end. Oh, these are fake blocks. It's a trap. I kept falling down. I just wanted to mention that the number of mobs is just insane. There is netherite. We take it. Ah, this one was trapped. Oh, and the funny part is that this was the best chest. So far. Well, I'll try to get the rest of the loot. I'll bring you back once I find something of interest. Aha, so I did manage to find a block of netherite, which was great, and one more foundry. That's good. We have plenty of blocks. Also, I thought these are blocks of cobalt. They're a trap. They do fire arrows. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back at the base, and no, I did not find anything else of interest. But we did manage to find a few pieces of netherite, 11. We have 30 scrap, and we do have a bit of ancient debris. So I want to be able to increase my production by a teeny tiny bit, so let's get a netherite upgrade, you know, for this guy over here, and maybe a bit more stack upgrades. Why not? Now I can have an extra save. We can even upgrade our meshes. Give me the mesh. Nope. You know, we can turn it off. It's way easier. So we do have one good mesh, but the other one is garbage. Oh, and by the way, I have not lost my experience. I made myself an XP obelisk. We try to get fortune 3 and efficiency 5. Not sure if it's useful. You know, because we're using deployers. Anyways, for upgrading the mesh, what we're going to need is a smithing template, which we can craft. And I'm not sure if we lose the upgrades. No, we don't. So there you go. We have 2 decent netherite meshes. Oh, you need a thing on top. My bad. Okay, so efficiency does make a huge difference. You do notice it, right? We have to change it. No, this is the good one. That's the bad one. That should be way better. Right? Right. So the main reason that I'm increasing our production by a bit is that we want to get some uranium. It's very slow and you only get it from Desolate, and well, maybe next episode we can have a reactor. Because today, even though I want to generate some power, we're going to go with a different reactor. This guy. Bioreactor. So Bioreactor is from Industrial Foregoing. It does give you biofuel, which is purple, which is an amazing color. And I'm very impartial. Ignore everything which is purple. But yeah, this guy is going to make us biofuel out of dyes, seeds, and some vegetables. The more vegetables you have inside, the efficiency will go higher. And since I really want to have a farm for food, that actually works out fine, right? However, the bioreactor does have a bit of a problem. It does require water in order to run. Otherwise, you get nothing. So in this mod pack, we don't have an infinite water source, but what we have is an aqueous accumulator, or the water condensator from Industrial Foregoing, but it doesn't make a difference, because both of them do require a 256k ME storage component. And if you guys remember, every processor requires a PCB segment. Hi. So I would say our first order of business is to make a ton of PCBs, right? That requires a lot of plastic, I know. And honestly speaking, we don't really need to do all of this. We can even rush and finish the mod pack today. But I just really want to play around a bit. We can get better extraction upgrades for the Ender Oil conduits, right? I think we can. Yeah, this time it does half a stack. I could have made a better one. The faster everything goes in, the less air pressure we lose. Also, I do have some speed upgrades inside the interfaces. Actually, only the one. I have to make more. But yeah, we're making capacitors again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to make 2 stacks of PCBs. They're ready. And I think that should be enough for an aqueous accumulator. Maybe way more than we need. Oh, I forgot. It's not ready. We have to use the assembly line. And maybe this time with a bit of speed upgrades. So now the question is, do we actually have to go back to that building? Maybe we do. Because I don't have a controller. We don't need it now, but later on we will. We do have extra drinks. So let's go. I forgot to bring more gasoline. We might have to walk back. Also, do you hear the footsteps? This reminds me of Flintstones. I'm Fred. No. We are back at the building and I just realized the floor is made out of skystone. That's a bit weird. Whoa, hi. Where did he go? I'm shocked. You know, I think it's better if we go from the back. It's a bit more safe. Maybe not that much. He's not dying. Why aren't you dying? He has a big shield and he's coming out. How much health do you have? He does have a lot of health apparently. Okay, he's dead. These things are the worst. Oh, awesome. They have a spawner. Somewhere. There are inscribers. Yeah, we take them. That's not a trap. Weird. Those stupid things are so irritating. Dense cables. Oh, come on. Another giant. Half giant. I think he looks smaller. Yeah, he was. The controllers should be up there. They are up here, right? Oops. Yep. Exactly. I don't really think we need all of them, but we take as much as we can, because we can also crush them in order to get their parts. Another thing is that, yeah, the quest is complete. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I'm back at the base and we have 52 crashed computer controllers. Honestly speaking, we are going to keep 16 of them and we crush the rest to get the parts. It's not really worth converting it. Yeah, that was a mediocre amount of processors. It's okay, we can craft more. I have been cooking some silicon, and if you guys remember, in the past we have already found the inscribers. So this should work very slowly. Well, thanks to our previous exploits, we can have some acceleration cards. 4 should be enough for the moment. Yeah, that's way faster. I can live with that. I had to make it way faster, and we have a decent supply of processors. More is being made. Also, I did recycle the other crashed computer controllers, because you just need to have the one. You use a block of steel in order to make the controller frame, and then you convert that into the controller. And just like that, you actually finish a quest. We want item storage? I don't know. You also need to make a drive. I don't ever think that we are going to need an ME system, so this could be a total waste. Yeah, we already have the terminal. Oh my goodness. Fine. I'll make you a 1K. Are we good? Thank you. This is actually the good part because we can recycle this one. Yeah. But anyways, let us move on. Let's see how many we can make. That was an awesome start. We ran out. Not sure if this was a good idea. 27 1K gives you 164K. That's gonna be expensive. So while I'm still waiting for more processors to be made, here's what we're going to do. One of the things that you might notice is that inside our base the temperature is kind of fine until you walk here. Then it gets really hot. I think it's because of the tank from Create. We can actually check it. Now it's empty. Anyways, I wanted to do this earlier, but we are going to change this with a dynamic tank from Mechanism. It does require 2 valves, and I think we are going to need more dynamic tank blocks. Yeah, it was because of the tank. The temperature is fine now that the tank is not here. We have already made several dynamic tanks in the past because they're amazing, they have huge capacity, and it's like any other multi-block from Mechanism. The wall itself, not the frame, can be made out of structural glass. The rest have to be just actual frames. Now it should form, right? Yeah, I missed the block, it does form, and the capacity should be humongous. 700 buckets. No, 720,000 buckets. You know, this is why I'm not a fan of Create. I'm just saying. And this one looks cool, and the base is no longer hot. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, that is 256k ME storage components. That means we should have our aqueous accumulator. We're missing that one. There you go. That's a big achievement. The problem is that in a parallel universe, I do have a creative world, and I have never seen this to be a quest. But if I'm not wrong, now we should have infinite water, right? Let's just give it a test. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna rage quit. It does work. It's infinite, right? Yeah, it's infinite. Awesome. So we used a lot of PCBs for that, but we still have 1.5 stacks. Maybe it was worth it. Therefore, my fellow lords and ladies of darkness, here is our farm patch. It's the same ingredients that we are going to need in order to make hamburgers, with a few extra crops, like carrots, potatoes, and I don't remember the final one. Beans? Maybe? No, it's not the beans, but I just realized the harvester is not harvesting the beans. Why? That was the whole point. Well, the whole point was to make biofuel, but hamburgers were supposed to be a byproduct. Maybe it's because it's full. Yeah, it was because it was full. Everything is being harvested and everything is being replanted. I only have one set of upgrades, so it's a bit slow. But you guys already know how it works. We have a planter down there. We have the harvester, and we do have a fertilizer. The recipe for the fertilizer is a bit different. You do need to have a dissolution chamber, which I did make. And down here we have 2 compression dynamos for powering everything. And at this very moment they're working with LPG because I had to kickstart everything. But we have our bioreactor as well, which with every single seed that we have, efficiency is at 100%. There's also a conduit system. The planter itself is on the highest priority. Then it's the bioreactor. Then there is a chest over here which has the lowest priority. So anything Anything which doesn't go inside the bioreactor goes into here and I can use it in order to cook food. As for water, because aqueous accumulators are very expensive, I think we are going to have a reservoir. It's going to be a dynamic tank from Mechanism. Exactly, something like this should work fine. One of them is going to be for biofuel, the other one for water. It's a purple fluid. We should always put it inside the tank. No. So that's our aqueous accumulator. I think you can upgrade it. Yes. And then we're going to send it to an ender tank. You know, wireless technology. So are we getting water? Awesome. That's actually quite fast. In this way we can have water wherever we want. We just need to have an ender tank. That's it. So if we give water to the bioreactor, it doesn't have power. Oh, the dynamos are off. Oops. I'll get more LPG. Don't you worry. And yes, we're getting biofuel. Finally. And actually we're making biofuel relatively fast. But this time if we run out of LPG, it should go inside the dynamos. I think. Also, this is my last nutrient break. After this we don't have any food. So I'm kind of in a hurry. Let's see if something is left over there. You know, at the old farm, yeah, there are beans. I can finally make... Oh, we already had some burgers. That's nice. I'm really hoping that the system is going to be self-sufficient and we are going to get some excess biofuel. Maybe we put the upgrades inside the bioreactor too. Yeah, this one is getting biofuel, exactly. It's decently fast, I can't really complain, we just have to put it inside one of the dynamic tanks. I'll get more ender tanks. So my fellow lords and ladies of darkness, I did manage to make... I'm hungry, but I did manage to make the extra dynamic tank. I tried to cover it as best as I can and our farm is operational. It's not exactly amazing for hamburgers because I noticed something really weird regarding the beans that we need for the burgers. So this is a bean plant, we break it, we get the one. If we break another one, we get the one. And I think you guys get the gist, we always get the one. So yeah, it doesn't really work with burgers and we have to change the seed configuration, I guess. We shall have no more beans, instead we shall have peanuts. And I guess beetroots? Oh, and by the way, in the past I used to remember that the planter from Industrial Foregoing didn't work with modded farmland. Or I think maybe it wasn't working with a certain farmland, but this time it's working. This is from Farmer's Delight. So I think we can boost our production. We have plenty of rich soil, even here. I have switched the farmland, I gave it some fertilizer in the form of bone meal and now it's working super fast. We're also getting a decent amount of biofuel, so I'm not really complaining. But there is one more project that I want to finish today. It's a mob farm and for that we actually have to go exploring again. We're looking for something like a reactor, which I have never found. That is perfectly fine, we shall try to find it. The reason that we're looking for a nuclear reactor is that first off, if you want to... that's a lot of dirt. I struggled a lot in order to get dirt. Yeah, but the rest is garbage. It's okay. Early game I wouldn't have made it this far anyways. Anyways, if you want to get into the bigger reactors mod, in order to make the controller, you have to find a crashed controller. Yeah. Crashed reactor controller. It's exactly like the ME controller that you can find in the reactor site, but we also have mob grinding utilities. And you know, we do have the rotten egg, which you can find it in the nuclear plant chests. It's a rare find, so we have to get really lucky. Also, can we increase our render distance? Would be easier to find something. I just wanted to mention there's nothing here. What is that? Well, that's an extra ME building. Still, what is that? Oh, this is the deep dark with a warden. Okay. We don't go there. There are so many wardens. Well, there's a city. Maybe we can find a map. Foundry city. No. Another one? Matter energy. No. Actually, I just realized ME stands for matter energy. I didn't know. We're actually extremely far away from our base and I found another city and guess what? Nuclear plants. It's to the north. It's okay. We can drive. Is it just me or the dot is getting bigger? Yes. We have arrived. We should see it. Somewhere? Maybe? Yes. There's a building. And that's the reactor. Perfect. So in a creative world, I teleported inside a reactor. I didn't actually find it. It's apparently very far away, but there are also ghasts inside. That's good. We can make a megatorch or something. And guess what? I can already hear a ghast. But that's the actual... That's not a reactor, that's a turbine. Well, we are not really here for the reactor itself. Remember, we're actually here for... I'm scared. We're here for the chests. Why are you flying? Do they even have chests? You also don't have to break the doors, they have a button. And I don't see any chests. I see a lot of crazy people. This place is weird. Well, these are ultimate mechanical pipes. I'm not gonna say no, they're very expensive. I think you need 8 PCBs in order to make 8. Oh, hi. You scared me. Still, I don't see any chests. Is the thing. Why, charged creeper? Another charged crazy person. Hello, boys. I think the perimeter has been semi-secured. Almost. I still don't see any chests. Well, there's a crate. Reactor glass, fine. Crash reactor frame, and that's it. This time we just poke a hole. Ooh! Maybe not. I don't have that many bullets. It's a minigun, so it consumes a lot. But the area has been secured. PCBs are not bad. Still not the things that we want. And that was it. Well, the area is again semi-secure and we have secured the reactor. Should we take it? Why not? We just take some of the parts. Well, I think I got the reactor controller. No? Whoa. Oh, that's the one. Yes, I got it. So the previous reactor was unsuccessful. I was just walking around and guess what? I lost it. Oh, it's that way. I found another one. Well, this time at least we know where to look, right? There are just a few chests at the front. And this one seems to be glitched. Oh, these are the worst. They blind you. Again, nothing of interest. That's a shame. Let's just burst in and secure the area. So, a crate with garbage inside. Is there another one? Yep. Machine frames are not that bad. Still not the rotten egg. I take the sign. You know, the problem is that in this mod pack you can't actually craft the rotten egg. You have to find it. Oh, there's another room. Okay, another bust. It's fine. You know, probably I can easily make a mob farm. The problem is that it's only going to work during the day. Because you see, in this world there are no caves, it's just dust, it's just solid blocks. So at nighttime, mobs are going to spawn and I can't really do anything about it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try and walk back home, which is very far away. If I do manage to find another reactor, I'll bring you in. If not, we go back home and make a basic mob farm or something. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? That's another reactor. It seems that they're just almost in a straight line or something. I just reduced the render distance. I was not guessing if it's there or not. But you guys know the drill. Oh. We found it. Oh my goodness, what a jerk. They always spawn. More machine frames. That's actually good loot. Another one. Oh my goodness. Another one. That was awesome. Let's just go home. I'm done. Maybe we should also kill the ghast. They don't drop gas tiers, that's the problem. It's okay, we have what we need. Let's just go back home. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back at the base and it was really a long journey. Normally I don't really mind walking 4,000 blocks, but everything looks the same, so it's kind of boring. But here's the deal, I did manage to make myself a mob slaughter factory. The recipe is very easy, because if you look at the JEI, you might notice that in order to make an actual mob crusher, we need an advanced machine frame, which does require pink slime. So it did make sense to make the mob slaughter factory first, right? No, not really, because you get the advanced machine frame by finishing a dissolution chamber. So I guess here's also a mob crusher. And let us see how we want to set these things up, because I do have a lot of lanterns. Well, here I don't. Yeah, we can have a mob farm around here. It's not going to be lit up. Boring cross mode. What? Ew. That's actually nice. I really enjoyed this mod. It gives you so many options. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, I did mention that in order to make a mob farm, we don't really need to have cursed earth. And well, I was kind of right. Because it's just solid blocks everywhere. They don't have anywhere else to spawn. However, one of the things that I forgot is that I forgot to hook up everything to power. So first, let us try to get rid of the mobs. I think this should work, right? Yeah. They get the biofuel. Cool. They're dead. So I have switched the dust with dirt. Let's try to cover it. So one of the machines is a mob slaughter factory. Obviously, we're getting liquid meat and pink slime, although the rate is garbage. It works better with passive mobs. And of course, the second machine is just a mob crusher. So we just get normal loot. That's it. I need speed upgrades. Well, let's sort the loot first. We don't really have drawers in this mod pack. All we have is sophisticated storage. So let's just try to get a spruce barrel. We are going to upgrade it to netherite so that we get the most amount of upgrades. And also, sophisticated storage. Do you have a tank upgrade? No, your backpack does have a tank. Okay. I just wanted something for pink slime, that's it. Well, I can't really say the loot itself is worth it, it's actually not. Because from all the things that you see over here, maybe gunpowder is useful? That's it. and we get spider eggs, which is not very useful. But remember, the main reason that we have done this is just for essence as well as pink slime. Because if we use essence inside the dissolution chamber, we can get passive animal spawn eggs. Is it useful? Not really sure. Well, at least we can get a cow. It does require 32 buckets, and maybe carrying everything with 2 buckets is not the best idea. Yeah, we just use a tank, and I think we have to wait. That is perfectly fine. I do have to fix this place. A bit of a time later, and yeah, we have 69 buckets. I was AFK for a while, and I also charged my armor. So, let's fill it in. We have 1 cow, the second one is being prepared. Again, I'm not exactly sure why it would be useful because that is also a quest reward, but at least you can use cows in order to make a nutrient brick, because you need chocolate. But it's a bit of a pain to make this brick, so maybe I will never make it. So to be very frank, the main reason that I made the mob farms was not just for essence because, well, it's not that useful. I did that mainly in order to get red hearts from bubbly heart canisters. You know, from Lord Traverse of Darkness. And so far we got nothing, so let's do a very small change. We do have an extra rotten egg, so if we screw things up, it's not a big deal. So if I'm not wrong, if we use an entity conveyor from mob grinding utilities, yes, mobs can spawn on this block. It's just that we need belts. I have so much rubber. Well, what I want to try and do is that I want to try a mob masher. Looting is a very expensive upgrade, but yeah, maybe with looting, changing the grinder, we're going to get better stuff. Please don't spawn a creeper. Please. Whoa. He's dead. I first switched everything with the conveyors and then I had to switch back to cursed earth. Because mobs were not spawning for some reason. I was standing far away and the only place that it works is next to my ME terminal, and that's too far away because I do have to work here. But yeah, since we have switched from the mob crusher to the mob masher, we are actually getting hearts. So for some time there has been a new recipe to bubbly heart canisters, melted hearts. You just cook them, and when you combine them in a crafting grid, you get the upgraded version. So we can craft a yellow heart. Lovely. So we can have a red heart canister. For some reason, an enchanted golden apple. It's okay, we have plenty of gold. And that's a yellow heart canister. It's actually nice. I don't like yellow hearts. Maybe we can upgrade to green. Oh, and by the way, in order to collect all the drops, I do have a vacuumulator down here from thermal expansion with a knowledge concentrator. You know, you just click to claim the experience. Or we can convert it into bottles and power our base. I also just had an epiphany. There is a better way. It's actually quite stupid, but if you get a higher tier heart, you can also convert it into a lower tier. And you know, you get a far better yield. And well, if I'm not wrong, the highest tier of heart, which is the blue heart, is dropped by the warden. And we have already seen a few wardens. I'm gonna die. No, we are very close. Also, at a certain distance from our base, everything becomes flat. Which is weird. Maybe it's this biome. Could be. I do have almost 1,000 bullets. That should be enough. And if anything goes wrong, we're just gonna run away. I don't see the warden. Remember, we just want the one, not 5 of them. Oh, there's the warden. Yeah, that's exactly not what we want. Well, I'm hitting him. Blind. He does quite a bit of damage. And I'm still blind. Oh my goodness, he disappeared. No, he didn't. There's 2 of them. I wish there was a sniper. There's a rocket launcher. How much health do you have? Okay. He did not drop the heart. I'm trying this one more time. And no hearts. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way by just waiting for hearts. I don't think there's going to be a better way. But anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye. Get mesmerized. Where's my nose?